Hi, this is Jackie from ESLspeaking.org. Here are my 5 quick tips for teaching adult beginners, ESL or EFL. So the first one is repetition. So you only learn how to play a musical instrument, a sport, a language by repetition. You have to do something many, many times before it becomes automatic. So I always like to keep this principle in mind in my classes, especially for beginners. I'd rather do a few things many, many times, and students can leave my class with something very tangible that they can hold on to. This is much better than doing like a million things and kind of only hitting surface level on each of them, because students will leave and everything will kind of be maybe in their heads a little bit, but it will also be a little bit fuzzy. All right, the second tip for teaching adult beginners is confidence. So students are often beginners because they actually haven't studied English that long. However, there's a whole group of false beginners. So these people have maybe studied English for many, many years, but for whatever reason, they aren't that good at English, and they're kind of in your beginner classes again and again and again. A big problem with this is confidence. Many of the students feel like they're really not making progress in English, and they might not actually be making that much progress. So their confidence can kind of be down, and maybe they're kind of feeling bad about themselves with regards to learning English, that kind of thing. I really try to build my students up as much as possible. So if they do even the simplest thing well, I like to give them a bit of praise. I do positive reinforcement. If I see like some good teamwork, some good interaction in a little group, I give them, kind of a little bit of a shout out, that kind of thing. So build up confidence of your beginner students, and that will go a long way to helping them on their language learning journey. All right, the next one is simple is best. I mean, sometimes you have a textbook that you have to get through, and I understand that if you are teaching in a university or a language institute or something like that. However, it's not always helpful to just power through the textbook, especially the more difficult things, if the students are not at that level. So what I kind of do in this situation is I pick out some of the simpler things, and then I'll kind of build upon that and make a whole lesson based on maybe upon a little bit of a simpler listening exercise or a simple reading exercise or something like that. So it is quite easy to modify the material that you've been given, and it's very helpful to do if it's actually too difficult for the students. The next one is to focus on vocabulary. So studies show that you need to know around 1,000 words to have a minimal basic conversation in another language. If you know 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words, you can kind of get around in most situations, where native speakers are approaching more 10,000 plus words. So our students, beginners, if the faster that you can get them up to those 1,000 or 2,000 words, the most common words in English, the better off they'll be. All right, the final tip is to find out why your students are studying English. There are likely a ton of different motivations. Maybe someone wants to have an American boyfriend, or they want to watch a TV show. They're traveling, they have to do it for work. They want to pass the TOEFL or the IELTS exam, something like that. So ask students what their motivation is, and then try to tap into that whenever possible. This is the key to increasing motivation. It's key to getting students to study outside of class if they're doing something fun that's interesting to them and is relevant to their futures. All right, so those are my top 5 tips for adult beginners. Please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and also check out my book, ESL, EFL Teaching Practice and Methodology. Okay, catch you next time. Bye, everybody.